Hi everyone, this is Laura with Laura Astrology, and I want to give you an update for Monday the 28th through Thursday the 31st of October 2019. So this is a pretty big week. There's actually been quite a lot going on for the past couple weeks, but for Monday I wanted to start off with the Sun making an opposition to Uranus. So this is still kind of part of the theme of the new moon making the opposition to Uranus. So still that theme of maybe a sense of needing to break free, but feeling stuck in fear. The Sun is in Scorpio right now, and so Scorpio is the time of year where the light is fading, days are becoming shorter, and there's not as much abundance as there was from the summer months. And so Scorpio, there's often this feeling of getting the short end of the stick, of not having enough, and of needing to really fight for your life in a sense. There's this life and death sense to Scorpio. And so with the Sun here, it can definitely have this sense of feeling really insecure, feeling like you need to fight for something, feeling like you got the short end of the stick. And with it opposing Uranus, Uranus is the planet of spontaneity, freedom, authenticity, unexpected changes, surprises, disruption, revolution, revelation. And so with the Sun opposing Uranus, there's this sense of really wanting to break free, needing to break free, but perhaps feeling a little bit stuck in fear. There could also be this sense of shadows being unexpectedly revealed, because Scorpio is all about shadows as well. There could be a sense of finally breaking free from the shackles of our fear, and just generally this sense of being totally honest, truthful, and real, because Uranus is the planet of authenticity, and Scorpio also wants to be deeply honest. So that's that was from the weekend, but also continuing into today, Monday, just because it happened early in the morning around like 1 o'clock in the morning. So still kind of the theme for today. On Tuesday, we don't have too many outer planet movements happening. Just the moon is moving from Scorpio into Sagittarius. And so right now, Jupiter, the planet of abundance, faith, optimism, generosity, is in the sign of Sagittarius. And so whenever the moon moves into Sagittarius, she has good company with Jupiter. And so remember, the moon is our mood. And so with the moon moving into Sagittarius, an already very optimistic, generous sign, it's moving into the same sign as Jupiter. And so there's this sense of optimism, this sense of generosity, of joy, of abundance, of happiness. And so it can really be a good time to celebrate with loved ones and to communicate with other people and feel connected. Also because the moon will be making a conjunction with the planet Venus and Mercury. And so Mercury being how we communicate, Venus being how we connect. And so there's really this just sense of exuberance and joy and connectedness and community. So I definitely say make the most of that and spend time with people that you enjoy being around or people who inspire you. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, October 30th, we have Mercury making the exact conjunction with Venus in Scorpio. So conjunction just means when two planets are at the exact same degree in the same sign. And so once again, Mercury being the communication planet, the planet of our minds, and Venus being what we value, how we connect, what we attract, how we attract, planet of love, money, and relationships. So this is a great time on Wednesday the 30th to really think or contemplate what it is that you truly value. So remember, these two planets are in Scorpio, so there's this sense of depth, of honesty, of being truthful. What is it that you truly value? So this is about getting beneath the surface. Scorpio is all about getting to the root of things, getting to the bottom of the matter. And yeah, just being totally real and honest about what it is that you truly value. So once again, really great time, kind of feeding off from Tuesday, a great time to make loving connections, to have deeply honest conversations with other people, authentic conversations, being really speaking your truth and connecting and feeling intellectually merged or connected with others. Okay, so that's Wednesday. And then moving into Thursday, it's a little bit of a different mood. The moon moves from joyful Sagittarius into serious Capricorn. And instead of having abundant Jupiter as the moon's neighbor, we now have Saturn and Pluto. And Capricorn's already a very serious sign. And so, really, the sense of obligations, duties, maybe feeling a little bit limited, but really utilizing this energy to work hard and get things done. And with the moon being in Capricorn with Saturn and Scorpio, there's this sense of potentially feeling held back or limited, restricted, and really needing to dive deep into your responsibilities, your duties. What is it that you have to take care of? So the optimism might have faded a little bit, or it could be like, okay, like I have this optimistic idea and I feel very excited and inspired from the day before. And now, how can I put my inspiration into work? How can I make it into practical reality? So, kind of going from that idealism to realism, and how can I make my dream a reality and put in that hard work? I mean, there could also be watch out for kind of mood swings from being very happy and joyful on Wednesday to maybe a depressive mood, heavy energy, lethargy. There's just a serious tone to Thursday, and it could come out in all of those different ways. But I like to think in a more positive manner, like really thinking about how we can make our dreams and our vision and our faith, what we have faith in, into reality. How can we make it practical and grounded? And then the really big transit or aspect happening this week is actually Mercury is stationing retrograde. And this is happening on Thursday, the 31st, as well in Scorpio. And so, Mercury, remember, being the planet of our minds, of how we communicate, is going retrograde. And so, what this means is that Mercury will be going backwards in the sky. He's going to be stationing means like stopping. So, stopping at 27 degrees of Scorpio and then turning backwards and moving backwards. So, traveling through territory that Mercury has already passed through. And so, especially Mercury, when Mercury goes retrograde, there's definitely this sense of needing to slow down and reflect and review kind of the topics that Mercury is traveling through in your life. So whether this is, sixth house, work, service, how do I want to be of service to others? How do I want to be helpful? What do I want my daily routine to look like? Whether it's in the area of relationships, what do I want my partnerships to look like? How do I want to relate to others? It could be in the eighth house, Mercury going retrograde there. It could be, how do I want to tackle my debt? Do I want to really hone in on getting my taxes together this year and being like more serious about that? In the 10th house could be thoughts around career. Do I really like what I'm doing? Do I really feel like I'm helping others and being truly authentic in how I like am in my career, how I'm showing up with my reputation? So this could look like many things for many people depending on where this is happening for you in your chart. There's a few dates to watch out for. So Mercury stations retrograde at 27 Scorpio, and he'll be retrograde until the 19th of November when he stations direct. So stationing direct means Mercury will be stopping and then moving in a forward direction. And so he'll be stationing direct at 11 degrees Scorpio. And So this period, the period where Mercury is going back to a point where he has already traveled through, that period is called the shadow period in astrology. And so you might want to look back at when Mercury first traveled from 11 Scorpio to 27 Scorpio. So that will have been on October 12th, 2019. From October 12th until the 31st, that's when Mercury was in his shadow period, meaning that from 11 Scorpio until 27 Scorpio, that's when Mercury, um, that's like when he is moving backwards and going retrograde. He's stopping at 11 Scorpio where he's already passed through and he's going forward again. So that time period from the 12th of October to the 31st, you might want to think back about what was happening at that time for you, what you were thinking about. Maybe you had second thoughts on something, maybe you were hesitant about something, maybe you you were a little confused or you didn't know what you wanted. Because once Mercury kind of goes, so he's going back to that degree on Thursday, and then he'll be stationing direct and moving back, so passing that whole shadow period on December 8th of 2019. And so from the 31st of October through December 8th, there's going to be just a review period, a slowing down, a reflection over whatever area of life that is for you, whatever house this is happening in for you. And so just be observant, I would say. Think back, what were you thinking about? What were you planning on? What were you contemplating from October 12th through the 31st? And then think about, like, basically from the 31st until December 8th is when you'll be contemplating more, thinking more about reviewing those ideas that you had during that previous time period. And there might be some more clarity that comes of this, some more insight, maybe even a decision made on December 8th. This could be if you applied for a job or you wrote a letter to someone or you're waiting for news of some kind. Oftentimes the news won't come until Mercury is out of that shadow period. And so waiting really until December 8th to fully become clear or gain some clarity. I would say this is a great time to reflect through writing, journaling, automatic writing. Definitely a great time to go to therapy if that's something that you've been like holding back from or thinking about doing, especially with Mercury retrograde happening in Scorpio. Once again, that time of year where Scorpio wants to get to the bottom of things, and there's a real depth to Scorpio and a real interest in our shadow elements. Scorpio is not afraid to remain at the bottom of the pool. Scorpio is at home in those dark places, in the dark time of year, in those shadow elements of ourselves. So it's a really great time to reflect on those parts of ourselves. So definitely this is a great time for therapy. Great time for journaling, for figuring out what you want, going deep into yourself in whatever way that means for you. So once again, I would say not a good time for doing, not a great time for making decisions unless you absolutely have to, more for reflection, giving space for things to mess up. I mean, this is kind of like classic Mercury retrograde is known for things messing up, like technology breaking down. Maybe your computer stops working for a little bit. Maybe your phone just kind of turns off randomly and there's just these technological mess ups happening. So definitely be mindful of traveling during this time, allowing room for delays, and for things to not go as planned. So just create that room, create that space, kind of similar to my advice from last week for the weekend. So that's pretty much it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment in the comment box below. I would love to know how you guys experience this, and if you know where this is happening in your chart. I would love to know how it goes for you. Um, so, yeah, and I'll be back on Thursday for an update for the weekend. So stay tuned for that. And otherwise, have a great Halloween week. Bye.